Hey, what's up guys? Anderson here, bringing you a battle replay commentary on Lowlands. My opponent is another 10-star general named Vidi Vici, and I went with a melee rush build again, and I brought the matchlock Ashigaru meat shield flanking units. But I started having second thoughts right before the match started because this is a really good map for skirmishing units like bow warrior monks and whatnot, but I went ahead and stuck with it. Let me tell you, I am so excited for this next DLC to come out. 16 new land units, a lot of which will be samurai. There is a mounted hero unit. What else? They have 10 new naval units, so who knows, maybe naval combat won't be as boring as it is now. But anyways, so for this build, you can see I brought the 3 matchlock Ashigarus. I have one on each flank and then one right here in the front. Directly behind them, I have some Yari Ashigaru. Then I have 5 veteran katana samurai down here. Oh, I forgot, I need to fix these guys' colors. It's supposed to be orange on black like my other veteran units, instead of black on orange. But 5 katana samurai, all veteran. And directly behind them, I have 2 vanilla naginata warrior monks for Warcry. The other one's over here. We have Chesty Puller over here in his orange and black tiger stripes, looking pretty sick. And then 2 more Yari Ashigaru back here. For my cav component, I brought 4 light cav, 2 veteran, 2 vanilla. These guys only have 1 chef so far though. I'm not going to spend too much on them, but I figured, why not have some veterans. And then I also brought 2 Grey Guard. They are hiding down here in this forest. Not really sure how I'm going to use them yet. You look at my opponent's build, he has 4 matchlock samurai in his front lines. So a little bit better than my 3 vanilla matchlock Ashigaru. And these guys have armor value and everything else, so they're a little bit better at skirmishing than matchlock Ashigaru. And they hold their own pretty decently in melee as well. And let's see, on his flanks, his left and right flank, he has these Yari Ashigaru. And directly behind his matchlocks, he has 2 more units of Yari Ashigaru. And 6 units of, I believe, vanilla katana samurai. So, not as strong as mine, but he does have more than I do. As well, he has his avatar bodyguard, which I can't remember, I believe it's a leadership general, or melee and leadership. And then I know he also has 2 Yari Cav and 2 Naginata Monk Cav. But let's go ahead and get this started. Now, I was kind of surprised that my opponent brought a melee rush build as well. I don't know, he does have a lot of matchlocks for a rush build, but I was just surprised. I think that's one of the things about commentating and always uploading your new videos and strategies and whatnot. I think a lot of people do take notice of how you play, and maybe they recognize from a previous game how you've been playing and try to concept their build for a fight around that. But it's to be expected, especially since I'm pushing these type of builds a lot right now. Not necessarily because that's all I want to play, but I just want to get good with it. And actually, I have thought of some like how would I describe this? I want to say stimulation strategy games, but training exercises. That's pretty good. I've thought of some training exercises I might do with Viz or Alfie, where I bring micro-intensive builds, like instead of bringing 5 katana samurai for a core, maybe I'll just bring 2, and then I'll bring 3 naginata samurai and then 2 naginata monks. But the more varied your different cores are, the more micro-intensive it is. I could bring 3 bow warrior monks, but I think you'll get a lot more micro-intensive if you bring 1 bow warrior monk and 2 bow samurai or whatnot. And these will just be battle list games for, like I said, training exercises. Work on your micro, and going into fights without set builds and without a plan, it's not a sure way to win a fight, but as far as training with a buddy, it's a good way, for developing strategy on the fly, things like that. But definitely some things I'm going to practice because I don't want to roll with the same build every time and the same strategy or tactics. Even if it's a good map for a melee rush or a good map for skirmishing, I don't necessarily want that to dictate what I bring to a battle, and try to bring that unpredictability factor to a game. And the new DLC is actually going to bring a lot of that unpredictability. We're looking at 16 new land units and 10 new naval units. But over here, I actually bring my light cav over, trying to distract him, and it was so funny because he's able to push through a charge here and a charge here on these light cav. But I managed to get these guys around and actually do a little bit of damage to these yari cav, and I'm not really trying to battle him out and win this fight. I just want to tangle him up, do some damage, keep his army positioned, distracted, and then try and maneuver his cav over here towards my army. It doesn't really work out quite as well as I hoped, but I do manage to take out one of these units over here. And early cav action is a dangerous thing to play with at this stage in the game because one, I mean, not only do you have the downside of fighting near your opponent's main infantry lines and all of his spear and matchlock support, but with the messy cav charge bugs and whatnot, it makes it really dangerous. It doesn't matter how good you are at cav micro and doing cav battles, your opponent can always get lucky with all the BS that's going on with the charges and whatnot. So as dangerous as it is, I still enjoy doing it. So I like to sometimes on some maps, and I'm not really too worried about losing these light cav. They're more of a distraction force. My real heavy hitters are my Great Guard. But go ahead. I'm gonna send these guys in this forest because I know he probably has more cav hidden, and right there he can pop out some warrior monk cav. Now, even though I have the charge, I have the speed, he's able to respond the last second and win the charge bonus. But that's fine. I'm pretty much used to that. At least I know that my two Great Guard over here alone, with his being so far away, will be able to quickly route these guys. And another thing, I figured these guys might have had war cry, so you want to engage these naginata warrior monk cav as early as possible so they cannot use their war cry, because it has a 3-minute cooldown that has to go through before it can even use it in a fight. So that's one thing I do try to do when I see that my opponent brings units like that. And one thing I noticed the whole time I was maneuvering, my opponent was just sitting here keeping his army fresh. And as well, another reason I knew he had hidden cav was because if you look at his whole infantry component, these are all vanilla units. So that in no way, shape, or form represents all the funds he spent on this battle. So little things like that you have to pick up on and try to realize. There's another reason I sent these light cav to screen to the forest. They're excellent spotters and good at finding hidden units. Luckily he didn't have any heavy gunners or anything like that hidden. If there had been a heavy gunner back here, my Great Guard would have been gone by then. But I noticed my opponent was not moving his formation, and then the problem that presents in this battle is that my men are going to have to run all the way from over here, my deployment area, around here, and they're going to get some fatigue penalties, making all that movement, while he's just sitting here letting his men rest. And you can see he did bring some of his matchlocks around to respond and try to hit my cav, but luckily I got him back here screening in the forest, so he's not really going to deal out too many casualties to my cav. Meanwhile, I have my infantry getting set up in this forest because I realize even though I might have the slight infantry advantage veteran-wise, and with the naginata warrior monk cav, he definitely has the matchlock advantage. So I want to get positioned in this forest and really try to get him to waste some of that matchlock fire while I'm doing the cav battle, and then push my swords forward. Now it's funny because he actually rushed me. I figured what I would have done in his situation, I probably would have pulled back a little bit. Honestly, you don't want to try to engage while your opponent's in the forest. It's going to soak up your charge from your infantry, and it's going to make your matchlocks a lot less effective. But here you can see I actually pull back. Now, I made the same micro mistake in this one that I did in the last battle. I left these Yari Ashigaru back here, which, it didn't really kill me in this game, but it would have been nice to have them up there supporting my lines, taking matchlock shots, and, absorbing some of those charges rather than having my katana samurai do all the work. But here he starts to actually rush up, and I'm actually leaving these matchlocks out front because I'm not worried about losing it. Once his infantry starts to get a little bit closer, I'm just going to throw these guys in melee mode and rush them out there to soak up some of those charges and hold his infantry lines a little bit, off. So I'm not really worried about that. And you can see I actually had these matchlocks out here moving towards my flank, and this other one setting up on the flank over here. So, like I said in that last battle, all that does is, it reroutes his units and sends them into a position that maybe he didn't want to go to at first. But once I see his sword start to come in, I'm going to go ahead and start rushing my katana samurai up. Here you can see I actually sent these matchlocks up here in melee. They aren't going to hold out too long. They are Ashigaru units, but that's fine. It's going to blob up some of his units and give me time to go ahead and set up my counter charges. So here he actually sends this katana samurai towards my matchlocks, but I'm going to start skirmishing with these guys. I went ahead and turned them to get those rear flanking shots on his units. And then as soon as these Yari Ashigaru come down here and engage, I'm just going to start dragging him this way, trying to get him out of range of the Yari Ashigaru and let him, just chase him off to however far he feels like running after him. But, because I did get some of that supporting matchlock fire over here, I'm going to win this battle pretty quick on this flank. I've already practically routed another one of the Katana Samurais down here, and I've just got these two to contest with. Okay, this one actually does have one chevron, so it probably has one attack point. This one has one chevron as well, but I've got my Katana Samurais down here. Back here, I have my Grey Guard. I've engaged and taken care of all his cabs, so he didn't get to use his war cry, this naginata monk cab, and I'm going to try to maneuver these guys around and start hitting these matchlocks. And it's a big problem because he does have all these spears here, and this is the point of the battle where I should have maneuvered those Yari Ashigaru up, but they're just wasted sitting back here with my general. Pretty pointless. Got my general back here though on this slope to protect him from my enemy's matchlock fire. And you can see I still have a pretty good radius on my circle, so my men are still getting my buff from having the general nearby. But I took care of the Yari Ashigaru on the flank with my katana sams, and now I'm just going to go ahead and rush him and try to get his matchlocks engaged and in melee as quick as possible. I already used my war cry on his katana samurai line, so those guys didn't take long to rout, and both of my units got their war cry off. So now I actually have these naginata monks over here on this flank engaging his other Yari Ashigaru unit. I'm starting to rush these katana samurai up now. He does have these matchlocks getting set up, which I'm kind of worried about, but I do get some of my cav in here. My other cav unit's down here. It is routed thanks to these Yari Ashigaru, and I have these matchlocks getting set up over in this forest to take out what's remaining of his matchlocks over here on his flank. Here you can see some more of my Naginata warrior monks rushing into combat. This guy's running away. He's like, screw this, I'm going home. You don't pay me enough. And then he gets caught. Oh, that was pretty funny. He's trying to run away and got jacked by one of my Naginata warrior monks. And then he dies. So he gets that epic kill, and then he runs over here and gets killed himself. How stupid. All that glory for nothing. But I did get my matchlock unit set up over here. Starts routing his unit, and the battle's still not quite won yet because these guys can't come back from wavering. I see this other unit getting set up to take off some more shots, so I get this unit set up on this flank to go ahead and rout these guys pretty quick. And now I'm just going to blob my infantry down. We got Chesty Puller, he's down here in the forest under matchlock cover, stand and fight, and the battle's looking pretty good from his point of view. He only took, 4 casualties due to matchlocks, but once I got positioned him in that better terrain, he took a lot less casualties. Did lose all of my cav though, but I managed to deal with his cav, and I will go ahead and show you the stats. Alright, so here's the results for that battle. You can see I deployed 1,980 units, my opponent deployed 1,950. I had 1,100 losses and 1,518 kills. So, looking at this, maybe about 85, 86 kills were friendly fire, but not bad, not bad. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.